Hi guys, can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me? Can I get a reply in the chat box, please? Okay, great. Thank you. Right. So, good morning all. I'm Bhavya from HIW. So today our session is basically collaborated with the team of Hitam College, Hyderabad. So thank you Hitam College, and we have all the faculties and the students of Hitam College here present. So thank you so much. Let's start on with the session. So as already discussed, today we are going to discuss about the Google SketchUp software, which is very important software compared to the or in terms of the solar design considerations. So why and what, how the Google SketchUp is used in the solar application oriented. Let's see it and understand it. Right, I have any issues in my voice, guys? Everything is clear and good, right? Okay, great. So let me share my screen. Before going to that, we will just have a look like what exactly the solar application is being used and how it is worked on. Okay, great. Thank you, Shiva. Right. Just a second, guys. So basically in solar PV plant designing, we are not into details of PV plant designing and all guys, but I'll just discuss what it is and how it is, just for an good info and good information about solar PV plant designing. When we discuss about solar PV plant designing, basically an electrical engineer or a civil engineer will design. Basically, let's talk about electrical in detail. Now, an electrical engineer will completely understand it to major extent in all the aspects. Like he has to design with respect to the string configurations. He has to design. Guys, I'm not looking into your chat. If anybody has any issues, yes, I've done the annotation, Srikanth. Right. So we were talking about the solar PV plant designing consideration. Now, in terms of electrical aspect, generally we starting from the irradiation level consideration along with the complete meteor norm data considered, and then you will design with respect to the string configurations based upon your area consideration and your module selection, inverter selection criteria, and everything into the picture. And once you have done that, then we check with the most of the cases in the aspect of the shadow analysis. Then we also check with the complete information regarding the energy generation report and the irradiation level in various months consideration along with the loss considerations. So just let me put those in this word so that you will just have an idea. So in solar PV design, on a brief note, if I consider, you will have an feasibility study. Okay, then you will have your once you can see that it is feasible to put an solar plant into it, then you work on with tendering, or you will get a tender of the project. And then once you got it, then you will have two tenders, that is civil and electrical. So I'll talk about electrical today. So electrical tender, in electrical consideration, you will start working with the project detail designing. And then you will discuss about the complete, once you have done it, then the complete BOM is given to the procurement team. Then you will have your installation, then testing, commissioning. Guys, if I'm using too much of engineering or technology, I mean terminology, I hope you understand it. We will discuss if needed. We'll understand it little later, but for time being, I'm just giving briefing of it. And then finally, the operations and maintenance, guys. Right. So if I see all of them, like in the project detail designing, basically, what does this project detail designing consists of? So let's understand it in other aspect. Now, project detail designing. In the project detail designing, if I observe, right, in this, the first point is that you have to create the SLD. Now, to create an SLD, you should work on with the software. Like we'll first have the steps, and then we'll discuss like what are the tools required to work on them. Okay, you to create an SLD, and then to create an SLD, you should know like designing concept of it. That is like the string configurations. Now, to do the string configurations, right, I have to work on with the uh, selection and sizing of equipments. That could be selection and sizing of equipments, basically. Now, the what could be the equipments that if I speak about the solar equipments, most of us know about it. So I'll just put it like what are the equipments that we have in it. First one could be the solar module. Then I have inverter, structure. Let me put it as module structure, right? And then we have AJB, SCB, right? Then you also have cables, meters. All of them again comes into picture. Like if you're doing it in on-grid consideration, then you'll have your transformer into picture, right? Many things comes into picture when you're working with this, right? So you have like n number of things working on with the equipments and all. If you go in detail in minor consideration, you will have your meters into picture. Then you will also have your lighting resistor into the picture, and then the switchgear equipments coming into picture for the protection of the equipment, and all those comes into the one by one you add on it. Then the solar will have all the set of things into the picture consideration, right? So once we understood this, now to work on with the SLD or to do the selection sizing criteria consideration, we should understand three major things. So let me change my color to understand it. Okay, so what are the tools required or applications required to design a solar? Most of the cases to design solar, first thing is AutoCAD. Okay, AutoCAD is a preliminary tool to design the SLD's layout considerations, all of things into the consideration. So let me write it what I'll be designing that also. I am talking about specifically the detailed designing of the solar plant, guys. So in that we are talking about in the design, what are the tools required for the solar plant designing. In that, if I see that I have tools required, so first one is the AutoCAD. We will design layouts along with the solar SLDs in it. Now the second one is PV where you will work on with the to generate to have the report of the energy generation report. Let me put it in this way. Right, and then after we have SketchUp, that is today's session, so which is used for the shadow analysis and also to 3D model of the exact 3D modeling of your rooftop applications. Now if you, I would say rooftop, we can also do with the ground mount also, guys. Okay, now there are other softwares also, something like Solar Lab, Solar Pro, then you have Helioscope. Many other softwares are also present to work on with this SketchUp's basic considerations. So we will see the SketchUp consideration. Generally the flow would be you design a SLD. Before doing an SLD, you will check with the energy generation report along with the meter-norm data, and considering that you design an structure consideration. With that, you work on with the PV system and energy generation report, and then you do the shadow analysis, along with the insertion of solar models to tell the client in a proper aspect, like how exactly your building or your rooftop looks exactly after the insertion of solar considerations along with the layout considerations. Okay, so let me come back to the where and where how I will get, or how can I install the solar I mean Google SketchUp software and its respective plugins and all. Okay, guys, are you clear so far? Can I continue forward? Right. So considering your it as yes, because I didn't get any replies in the chat box. So I hope you all can see my screen. That is like Chrome. Okay, great. Thank you, thank you. Yes. So in this, if I see that I've just clicked on Google SketchUp download, it's really easy, guys, to download the software, and you will get a 1 month trial for the SketchUp if you want to learn or work on with. I know I'm just giving you an information regarding this, but not completely an installation procedure and all. But I'll just give you a hint like where we can download. You search with the Google SketchUp on the Google, you'll have this option. Click on the second one, download all SketchUp. So you'll go to this tab where you have to create your own ID, where you have to create your own ID or create an ID, or you if you already have it, some people will have it, then you can also install that. I mean, log into that and then work on with that. You have the latest version of SketchUp of 2020, but you can install your respective version based upon your if it is max 64-bit, or if it is yours is Mac, or you have 32-bit, then you also have 32-bit below, so you can work on with, and it is available in various languages. So will go with English for time being. So you just click on download, you will have your exe file downloaded. Just run it and then sign into the SketchUp. That's it. It's simple. And to work on with SketchUp, basically, what is SketchUp software? SketchUp is something which is not only used by the electrical people, it is majorly used by the architecture people, the interior designers, or the architectures also, architect people also, the civil engineers, to design the major intent of SketchUp is to design the buildings, and also in with respect to the complete walkthrough. We call it as walkthrough, and you do the walkthrough of the building consideration, including the interiors with minute considerations. So they use SketchUp for modeling of the buildings and then show you their clients exactly like how their 3D model will look exactly upon their design considerations. Now we use SketchUp along with the Skeleton plugin to model the building in the SketchUp, and then use Skeleton plugin to install the solar modules and do the shadow analysis on it. Okay, so this is how the SketchUp is used. Coming back to that, I will show you like Skeleton plugin. So you will also have a Skeleton plugin like this, which will have the installation. So if you enter into the skeleton.com, the first link of Skeleton plugin download, you will get into this, where you can have your external this respective uh, if you see this respective is a toolbar, whichever I can see it here is given or attached into your SketchUp, so that you can work on with the solar applications exactly in the SketchUp considerations, right? So moving back to the other one, so let me show my screen for 1 minute. Right, so you have SketchUp. I have SketchUp 2018 in my lap, so I'm just opening it. Right, so once you get this way, then if you observe it, you'll have something called template. In that, generally the inches or feet are being used by the architecture people, so we will go with meters. So you have to choose a simple template of meters into it, and then click on start using SketchUp. Right, it's getting loaded, guys, just a moment. Right. So you can see this is the SketchUp Pro 2018 version, whichever I am showing you right now. And in this, we have different toolbars. So I'll just brief it, but not in detail into it while working on with the modeling and consideration. Because SketchUp is generally an 10 hours complete software learning concept. So today we'll only see one rooftop application insertion along with the shadow analysis. and also with an insertion of solar components into it. So that is our today's agenda in SketchUp completely. So far we have discussed about the solar consideration and the SketchUp utilization exactly based upon the solar consideration, where exactly SketchUp comes into picture. And we have also seen like what are the tools and equipments required in solar plant designing consideration on a brief. So that's what we have discussed so far. Now coming back to this, so I'm just deleting this. Right. Now, if you observe this, the first one is normally the menu bar where you have file, edit, view, camera, tools, window extensions, and help. These are something where you'll depending upon your requirements. Like you in the file, generally we'll always have the same ones like save, open, new, and the basic functionalities of the any application tool set. We use it, so that is how this also is being used. In the edit consideration, you also have this erase and delete and all those things into it. View, you have your toolbars sets, because this three Google SketchUp is completely depending upon the 3D modeling. And I personally love SketchUp because you will put your visualizations into these considerations. Like you put your thoughts into onto some visualization, and you can model exactly like how you want to work on with. So something interesting, I just feel it. Okay. And then coming to the camera, basically to view, because we are into 3D modeling and you want to see different perspective of it, then you work with the camera concentrations and all into it. And then draw tool, draw is like basically you use the draw. And SketchUp will be easier for the people who already have some grip on the AutoCAD, because the considerations wherever you're working with this, like the complete set of it, let's say you're drawing a rectangle, you're drawing a circle, you're drawing an arc, or you're working with an like modeling of it, and then you're working with a move of consideration. So certain things, like if you're good with AutoCAD, then automatically SketchUp will be much more easier for you to adapt. That's how I just feel it. And then you have windows and then extensions, right? And then the other one, the other tool set, if you see this, the first tool set here on the horizontal one is Skeleton toolbar, guys. I'm just mentioning it here. Okay, and then again at the second one and the left one here, the vertical one here, if I see both of them, right, this and this are almost similar considerations. If I consider up till here, both of them are like the normal tool set considerations. The I would say they are called as last tool set. The name of the tool set in the SketchUp is called as last tool set. So these tool sets are used to model the building. Okay, so I could say modeling tool set. Okay. So the other ones, like here I have something called sections and all. We will not get into deeper into it, but in detail, if you want at that respective point if needed, then I'll explain you the individual consideration of the tool set and all this. And to my right side, if you observe, there is something called default tray. Right. So this one is called a default tray, or I would say the completely entity information toolbar or tab set, where you will work on with many of the tabs. The first one is entity info, where you will get the information based upon your selection criteria and all into these SketchUp consideration. And then the second one is materials. As I said, like the complete uh, SketchUp is used for the modeling consideration of the buildings and architecture. People use it, so it's unique thing is that you can have your own materials working on it considerably, like your basis based upon your selections, like any respective color considerations or any tiles consideration, any grass considerations, all those flooring or anything very minute considerations in terms of the civil or architecture consideration. Those materials are also provided in this considerations. Okay, now coming back to the component section. Now in the component section, you can add your own set of components. That could be a table, that could be a bed, or that could be lamp, or any other things, the staircase, whatever you want to create. You can create your own component and then add that into your drawing consideration also in the SketchUp. Now coming to the styles consideration, this is also used for the color considerations along with the different patterns of it. Okay. Now moving back to the layers consideration, you will have a number of layers considerations. Now generally, as in like AutoCAD, you will also, here also you'll have various layers to work on with that. Now you're going with some 3-story building or 4-story building, and you want to put each level into each respective layer consideration, then you can go with the layers into it. And here we will see one layer consideration while working on with Scaleon plugin also. Okay. The next one is shadows, which is very important. Basically, when you refer it to the solar application, so you have to work on with the shadows, and we will discuss in detail when we refer the respective shadow consideration, guys. Okay. Now coming back to the scenes. Now this is something when you're working with SketchUp is also helps you in doing the animation of your complete. Now let's something like time lapse where you work on with that. Now how you are working with your considerable design and all, and you want to show the client exactly the how the modeling is been done and where exactly his respective design orientation is been done, all those things. If you want to show him like in a video consideration, then you can add your scenes to the animation and make it a proper video. Okay, and that video can be shown to the client to understand it in a very very proper way. Coming back to the instructor, the last one, this is something where makes SketchUp very user friendly software completely, because with whichever the tool you use it, the considering from your tool sets, it will tell you like how to use it, how you are working with that consideration. All those things can be seen in this instructor consideration. So we have gone through the SketchUp application on very overview consideration. So I'm just clearing all of this, guys, that we'll start on with the modeling of concentrations. Okay. uh, right, so what I'll do is, now when you're working with this, you can see that there is something called xy coordinates. So this is the x1, red one is x coordinate. No, I can't see this, just a second. All right, the red one is x axis, and then green one is y axis, and blue one is z axis, guys. So these are the three coordinates. When you're working with 3D modeling, that is like building modeling, then you should have the three axes, that is like x y z axis. These are the axes that we consider in this case. So what and how we are going to work on with now, how do you tell that SketchUp is working or is giving you the accurate results of the shadow analysis? Basically, that is a major question that arises when you are working with it, or when you're looking at it in the first impression of it. See, I would say the SketchUp will work on or it is accurate, it gives you the accurate analysis because we consider the exact geolocation of the site consideration based upon our requirements. Right, when you're working with many considerations into the picture concept, like if I say I have my own building, now I am considering my own building, then I'll have that respective location exactly, and you can add that location into the SketchUp thing, so that it will give you a clear cut shadow analysis exactly based upon your location criteria. So that's how I can assure you that the SketchUp will give you the completely a good and accurate analysis based upon your requirement consideration. Hope I'm clear. So let us see like how we add the geolocation on the first step criteria. So coming back to this, so you can see that go to file, then you see geolocation. In the geolocation, I have add location, guys. Let me click on add location. Hope you all can guys can see the other window, that is add location window. Guys, can you see the add location window? Could you please say yes in chat box, so that will be fine, or I'll change my screen sharing pattern. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Right. So coming to this, we have many things. So I am into some area here. Okay. This is near somewhere around ECIL where I stay. So I've just taken some random location, but not exactly the one proper building. So I'm just showing you like that. Instead of this, you can also search, or you, if you have the coordinates, now you can ask me like how exactly you will know the location of it. You can search it, guys, Or sometimes what happens is the client gives you his location details, and you will get the exact coordinates of the respective location. Now choose that locations and paste them here. Then you can see the exact point of the location wherever you want to work on with. So you can see, so I'm seeing the satellite view of it. So I'll just take one random building, guys, where I can work on with. You can choose anything, but I was just seeing like if I can go with good one. So I'm just seeing if I can get a good building concentration. Okay. So I'll just take one random one and I'll show you like the different ways of construction of building, guys. I think that will be easy for us to understand in more way because it's our first session. So I don't want you to struggle much. Okay, let me take this only, the Central Industrial Security Force building. Okay, somewhere here. Right now, once you select the respective thing, you see a plus mark here that should be exactly on the building, whichever you want to import it. Once you click on that and then click select region. So, oops, okay. Anyways, it is getting imported. Mm, okay. So here in this case, now let me show you like get started with the tool set. This is something called rotate axis, guys. Whichever on the left side in the left large tool set, I'm highlighting it with the pencil one, this one. This is the rotate axis consideration. Now you can see the exact axis of it. So what I'm doing is I'll just erase this and I'm clicking on this rotate axis. Okay. And I'm just using my mouse to view the picture of it. Am I clear? So this is a building that I've got it. Now you can see the exactly the building. What I'll do is I'll not exactly work on with that this respective building, but I'll show you like one another building where I can help you out in understanding the modeling of a building construction. So this is how we import the exact Google image into the respective image into your SketchUp concentration, Google SketchUp. Now because it's in Google one, so it always gives you the recent image of it also. So what I need to do work on with it, you select this and as it shows you red in color, okay, you click on unlock, guys. So you click on unlock. Sorry, Raghuram, I didn't get your question here. Okay. Use of this topic, as I said, like we can model the complete because you want to insert a solar concepts. I mean, like you want to see like how exactly the shadow analysis has been done for the solar applications. I mean, the installation of solar consideration, and then also the respective uh, layout of the panels can also be done using this. So hope I answered your question. Coming back to this, now I want the latest image. I think I've just checked it, but still you can see here the layouts. In that I can have location snapshot, right? I'll just delete it for time being and then come back to it. This software should have live internet connection or to work on it. No, Shrikant, we don't need any live internet connection basically while working on it. So guys, I'm going to Google image here, the exact one whichever I wanted just now. So the same thing is here. So if you observe it, it is like little dark. The latest satellite image is this, but still I feel the previous one was better. So I'll just do undo mine and then you can see it. So again, I'm going back to layer 0 to draw my drawing concentration. But your installation, and it needs, because it is a trial version, uh, for activating your trial version, you need the internet, but for working on the internet, you don't need any live connection and all. but your system should have good graphics card and the Java application behind, so that your the Google Maps, whichever the satellite version of Google Maps, will be proper way. That's it, so that it can load properly. That's it. So you need a good graphics card and good RAM space for the SketchUp to work on very properly, or else it gets stuck in many ways, guys. So if your system is supporting, then only we can. I've already shown this, Girish, where exactly you can get this software at the start of the session. So please refer it once again in the YouTube. You'll get that link anyways after the session. You will get that. Okay. Right. So coming back to this, let me start on with the drawing it, guys. Now I have a rectangular building with some spaces around here. So instead of this, I'll take one random building construction where you can see it exactly like how you're going to shape it and size it according to your requirement. Okay. So this is how this image, whichever I have it here. Now let me move it to some extent so that I'll not make you people confused so much. Sorry. Right. So this is our axis consideration. What we do is, in the normal application, you select your axis and put exactly on the building consideration. That is like the client's building consideration. Here we are not taking any specific thing. So I've taken a random one. So I'll just show you like how to model an image into it picture. So any other things or further queries, we will anyways answer you if you're working on it really. Okay. Now coming back to this. So I'll take just a vertical a rectangle here. This is a rectangle one. So I'm choosing a rectangle, guys, to draw it. Now you can see the exactly the, sorry, just a second. Right. You can see the dimensions on the right side of it. The below right to the right side of it, bottom of the application. I've just highlighted it just now. You can see it. So these are the dimensions where you can see it. Now I'm just clearing it. I'm coming back to it. So you can see it. So what I'll do is I'll just take a normal ones where you can work on with. So I'll have some, you can directly enter it also, guys. So before you enter it, I'll just take some 500 by, I'm just entering it by, guys, 500 meters, meters, comma, I want some 350. 500 is too heavy, but still we'll take it. Okay, so this one space I've taken it. Now what I'll do is I'll convert it into shape of H. Something, it's not look exactly the rectangle shape, ma'am. It is looking Shiva. Just a moment. Okay, is it okay now? No, using rectangle consideration, you can work on with the squares, rectangles, anything. Okay, such type of things. Okay, right. So I'm coming back to this. So when I want to work on with this, the first thing is that you have to select this image, right? What I'll do is I'll cut it into some good shape. Okay, I'll take an arc. And exactly I want to make it here also. Okay, so I'm using eraser now to erase it. Okay, this looks like some image. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll take a rectangle. I'll just segregate it. Okay, this is not proper. Guys, I'm just making some points so that I can have my rectangle in a proper shape and size. Okay. Right, I'll just erase the other parts. Now my building will look something like this, something like a dumbbell. Maybe it is looking like that, but okay, fine. We'll take this into the criteria. Now this is my building shape, guys. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I am trying to increase the levels of the building. Like it's a, like, let's say it's a 5-story building, 5 floors or 6 floors of a building. Now how do I do that? First of all, let me rotate it properly so that you can see the exact push pull option of it when I work on with that. Okay. Now coming to this, what I'll do is I'll just select, there is an option called push pull to model. So far we have used the normal drawing tools, okay, that is like pencil, freehand, rectangle, arc, semicircle, all those things have been used exactly to work on with your consideration, right? Now when you're working with this exactly, right, if I'm looking into this now, I'm into the next set called which I can do using it, the 3D modeling of it, exactly the 3D modeling of the complete 2D drawing into 3D. Now it's a 2D, so I'll make it into 3D now. Okay, right, so I'm just using my mouse here. Now I'll go with push pull option. There's an option called push pull, so click on push pull consideration, right, and then use it. Now generally each floor height would be basically some 3 to 4 meters, so I'll take some 4 meters of the height, and then use control. Now again I'm using it 4 meters. Now again I'm using it. I'll just show you guys for time being. I'm just taking. Now I'm at 3rd floor. So 4th floor, 5th, and the last one, 6th. Okay. Now let us see like how it looks like using the rotate option. So you can see a building of 6 floors. Right. Now this building has some parapet wall, the railing wall in a general language. Okay. So then once I've done this, now what I'll do is I'll just select it. Right, I'll just show you like this. Now I'll to show you parapet wall, I'll just zoom in a little bit. You will see it in proper way. Right, I'm using offset, guys. There is a command called a tool called offset. Use the offset, choose this, and the distance between them, it will be generally a 1 brick consideration. So you will go with somewhere around 0.25 meters, 250 mm. So if you zoom in a bit, you'll get your thing. Okay. Now I'll use push pull option. Now let me see whether I've got the complete railing or not. You can see it is everywhere, right? Because I've used it, I've considered it at the start. Now I'm using a push pull option. Zoom in, guys, and this dotted line, you can see there's a dotted line dotted here, and this is a dotted line. Now you want to increase the railing to some extent, basically. Now for that purpose, you have to see which part is getting selected. Now whichever the part you selected, I'm just moving my mouse onto the screen, guys. Nothing else I'm doing. I'm just moving my mouse onto the screen. Now I'm just selecting, this is a dotted point. Now I'm increasing the railing of it. To increase the railing, generally we go with 1 meter height. So let us see like how it looks like. Okay, so you can see exactly the 1 meter height of the railing towards the area consideration. Okay, now this is very big building, guys, very big building, where you can actually for this right, now in this consideration, when you're working with this, right, with this consideration, what I'll do is while installation or doing this analysis, we will do it for only half of part of it to understand it in a very good way. Okay, hoping that you guys understood so far. Now I'm coming back to this. Great, thank you guys, thank you for your response. Right. Now what I'll do is I'll just tap this is a building. So we'll have some lift rooms above it. You'll have a penthouse, you'll have a water tank, or you'll have some pillars on it. So many obstacles which exactly oppose the complete shadows on it. So in the live scenario, what exactly you see is that you go to the survey, exactly the site survey. One from your, because if you're a design department, then one person from your design department exactly goes to the site, take the pictures of all the things which are exactly on the building criteria when you want to install the solar consideration, and all those parameters will be installed or designed on this modeling considerations. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just take a round water tank somewhere around here. Okay, and then I'll after that I'll take a lift room exactly center of it, the building, and then again I'll use a penthouse here, or somewhere else here else. Okay, for time being I'm just taking some obstacles, guys. Okay, so I have something like this. Now let me push pull them. Okay, so the tank height I'll consider of somewhere around 3 meters height, not even 3, so I'll take 2.5. And then the lift room I'll take some 3 meters height, and the other one I'll take some 3.5 meters height, both ones. Right, so let me see how they look. They look something like this. Okay, right. Now after this, what exactly I have to work on with? I have to do the shadow analysis, guys, to work on with this. So let me see if these are exactly the white ones or not. Okay, so I'll add on my shadows into the picture. So you see on the right side below the layers in the default tray, I have shadows. This option, show or hide shadows, you can see this, guys. Let me highlight it. This one. Right now you have to just click on it to make your shadow on. You can see the shadow on. So I'll just show you again. This is off condition, shadow off, and this is shadow on. Okay, now I've made my shadow on, and then exactly it is in, we have considered location in India, so it is UTC plus 530. So I'll go with UTC plus 530, so that you're exactly making your thing proper way. Now you can see the shadows of it, if you can see it. You can see this part is nothing but the shadow of the complete scenario of it. Okay, now coming back to this, what I'll do is I'll do the shadow analysis for it. Now considering this into the picture, now what is the necessity of doing shadow analysis when we are working on with the um, when you're working on with the SketchUp? Why? Or solar concentration? Basically what happens is when the solar modules will not produce any of the energy or voltage if there is shadow on the module. That means if a shadow is falling on your module, that means the module will not produce or generate any voltage. So that is the reason we always see that we should have the no shadow region exactly on the respective location. For the criteria, we always see the location to be considered exactly with proper no shadow free region. Simply, I can say that is the reason in using SketchUp we do the shadow analysis first, and then remove the external part where exactly the shadow is falling, and the other areas we use it for the solar consideration. So you check with the layout consideration in that aspect. So I'm just selecting to do the shadow analysis. You have to select exactly where shadow analysis to be done. For that purpose, just click on this so that you can see it becomes a dotted part. Now this is the area where exactly I want the shadow analysis to be done. Now the major important fact to understand the shadow analysis is that you should on what dates you have to do the shadow analysis. I mean, like, which date should I consider to perform the shadow analysis is also important. Yes or no, guys? For that purpose, what you do is you consider the shortest and longest days. That is June 21st and December 22nd, right? June 21st and December 22nd are the shortest and longest days. But according to the SketchUp, they also consider the shortest day as December 21st. So for this software application consideration, we will take it as December 21st as well as the June 21st into the criteria. So for this purpose, what I'll do is we will consider the shortest and longest days to perform the shadow analysis for our project for time being. Okay, you can take any other days, but majorly you have to take both these days considerably and manually to perform the shadow analysis. Okay, so in this Skeleton plugin, I have an option called Sunny Area. So if you go into this, right, in this you can see that the complete option is there. Hope you all can see the Sunny Area window, guys. Yes. Any reply, please? Okay. Okay, thank you, Joel. Right, what we are doing is to perform the shadow analysis, basically. Right, Shiva, I'm doing it for you. When you're working with the shadow analysis is mandatorily considered for 2 days. That is the shortest day and the longest day. Longest day is June 21st and the shortest day is December 21st, according to the Skeleton consideration. But exactly in the normal consideration, we take December 22nd as the shortest day. Okay, so in this case, what happens is that this application will help you to do the shadows analysis exactly for your stipulated time of the in a day, like for 8 hours or for 10 hours based upon your considerations. Okay, now let me explain this in detail, guys, to some extent. Okay, now this is something called model date, where exactly you can enter the date, which date you want to do the shadow analysis. So right now it is in June 21st. Okay, but basically the Skeleton plugin or this in the Skeleton plugin, it mandatorily takes the December 21st. If you observe this, okay, December 21st, 2020 is being considered. Solstice, sunset and solstice sunrise. On this date, the sunrise and sunset timings are this in the respective location I have considered. That is 6:45 a.m. and the sunset is 5:42 p.m. Okay, and then project is solstice noon. What does solstice noon help us or to understand it? That is nothing but the sun is exactly over the head. That is like when you're having your sun consideration, it is exactly over your head. That means no shadow at all. That time is 12:13 p.m. Okay, that is nothing but you have your solstice sunset and sunrise and solstice noon in the specific location as per your location considered. Okay, considering into this picture, then you have something called project between. So there is an option called delta. What does this mean? Now, what exactly we do for the shadow installation or shadow consideration to consider the energy generation report or even the shadow analysis consideration, we take certain time based considering the solstice moon. That is some delta time. So in the June month, we go with 4 hours of time, and in the December month, we go with the 3.5 hours of time. That is because your sunset will be soon. So you're taking 7 hours a day to consider your analysis, and the in the June you will see it will be like four hours and all. Okay, that means you are exactly taking an 8 hours in the time to do the shadow analysis and 7 hours of time in the shortest day for the shadow analysis consideration. Okay, I'm going little technical consideration, guys. So I know like most of the technical terminology and in terms of the solstice and as well as the duration considered, all these maybe little newer terminology is little thing, but you can work on with that. But for time you can understand this way. Like solar, we will not have, as you all know, like solar generation is not throughout the day. It's only like whenever the sun is present, right? That too, in that case, we will not consider exactly the complete shadow region on the location. You will take certain time or certain play thing where the shadows can be considered exactly based upon your time duration in the SketchUp consideration to the analysis. That is like you take some 8 hours a day, 7 hours a day, like 7.5 hours a day based upon your location and your energy generation report along with your irradiation level, where at what time exactly the irradiation level is proper in the location. That time is considered maximum for the generation because you want to have more and more volt power generation exactly for your plant consideration, right? So now I'm considering this First thing I'm doing it for June, guys. So, okay. Joel, what exactly is happening is, I know it's little more technical because you will not understand the shadow analysis and the solar insertion basically because we are not discussing design of it. We are just working on with the application consideration. So what I can help you exactly is that yes, Vaishnavi, I'm coming back to your question. Once I do the shadow analysis, you will get that point. I'll answer your question in while explaining. Coming to Joyals, see, sunny area is basically to do the shadow analysis in the location to understand where exactly the shadow is falling from the obstacles present on your roof consideration. For time being, you understand that. Now, to on which day we consider the shadow is that exactly the shortest day and the longest day considerations. Okay, so for time being, we will take the June month, that is the longest day, June 21st, and I've considered that. So I'll take my project time between this, and exactly it is 8:13 to 16:13. Okay. Right. Now I'm considering the joint shadows. I'll tell you like for time being you are consider joint shadows because it will become again a difficult task for me to completely explain you like the joint shadows and not joint shadows consideration. Yes, guys. Considering time into the picture, I am not able to help you out in covering each and every detail of it. For this, you have as we all have an solar internship program where you will have detailedly information regarding the SketchUp and all. You, if you want, you can enroll into that, guys. Sorry if I'm telling any other information, but our institute, because this is just a session where you will understand it properly in terms of the tool application consideration. That is what exactly is being told to deliver in today's session. So I'm not going very much technically into the session consideration. Okay. Thank you for your queries and all. Your answers will be cleared if you ping me personally through our any of our number will be given in the chat box. So if you put your queries to them, they'll forward it to me. I'll help you out in answering those also. Thank you. So coming into that, now I'm just clicking on calculate, guys. Okay, what I've done in the sunny area, I've just selected a date, that is June 21st, and then I've decided the time slot, how much time this shadow has to be analyzed, at what time period or interval to be considered, and then I'm considering the calculate option, considering joint shadows into the picture. Now, if you observe it, you can see the shadow falling. There is a boundary region. If you observe, exactly the shadow is falling on it. Now, what I'll do is I'll just explode it for time being. And again, I'll do the shadow analysis for the December month also, guys. Okay. So I'll just select this. And in December, we'll go with 3.5. Calculate it. Okay. Now you can see that right. So this is completely the shadow regions. Now let us see like whether the shadow is properly or not, has come properly or not. Now this is the time at which exactly the shadow is at 15:43, guys. That is like 3:43 p.m. on December 21st. What I'll do is I'll reduce the hourly consideration and you please observe the shadow falling region. Okay. We have considered time slot from the I guess 3.5 hours. So it is 8:43 to 3:43 consideration. Okay. So let me go back to that. I'm just choosing this. Please observe the shadow, guys. If you want, I'll zoom in more also. Okay. You can see this is its shadow at 2:43 p.m. Okay. And then this is the shadow at 1:43 p.m., 12:43 p.m., then 11:43. Okay. 10:43. 9:43, 8:43 is this. Okay. Now you will also have shadow at 7:43, but you didn't consider into your analysis, so it is not showing you anything. Okay. So I'm just considering from 8:43. Now you can see some other also. Let me show you this also. Okay. 8:43 a.m., 9:43 a.m., 10:43, 11:43, 12:43, 13:43. That is 1:43 p.m. Then 2 and 3. So that's how your shadow is accurate based upon your consideration, right? Now coming back to this, what I'll do is I'll to make your thing, what we do is we erase the inner shadow lines, guys, because you have an overlap region for the shadow consideration. We erase it. So I'm using erase option here to erase that part where exactly you have the overlap of the shadow consideration. Even this edges also, you can see you'll have two lines. The inner one is for June and the outer one is for December. So for the railing, I'm not erasing it. What I'll do is I'll erase it off. What is there? Just a second, guys. My screen got struck. So this is how you erase all of the parts. Okay. So I'm just showing you. So because it's a curved part, generally the curved part will not be exactly the circular. It becomes an polygon in all the tool set applications. So you don't need to worry about it. It is the considered exactly the semicircle, but it looks like an polygon concentration. That's it. Okay. So what I've done is I've eliminated the complete overlap of the shadow considerations. Now what I'll do is I'll take just a part of the area to show you the solar installation. Okay. So let me zoom in a bit. Right. So I have this area. Now these are been three areas. The complete building has been divided into three areas. Now I'll put my solar plant exactly in this area. Okay. Right now this is my area considered. Now I have to insert the solar modules into this. Guys, so far we have discussed about the modeling of the building in SketchUp, and then we have discussed about the shadow analysis using the sunny area tool in the Skeleton plugin. And now we are going to discuss about the insert solar components into this. Okay. Right. So let me insert it. For insertion, there is an option called insert solar components. I'm using my cursor moving there, and you can see the insert solar components icon. Just I'm clicking on it. Right. Now when you're working on it, now this is the exact location of the things that we have used just now. I mean the location of the considered, and then tilt angle. Basically, the solar components are being, I mean, like we'll have some tilt angle based upon consideration, and those India is in northern hemisphere, so we face our modules to be facing towards south consideration, and tilt angle is something where you put models in a certain tilt angle. The major reason is that you are working with the to trap the maximum irradiation from the respective locality. You design a tilt angle consideration. Okay, I'm just giving you a brief about tilt into the consideration. So you consider tilt angle, and then I am using a panel consideration. Okay, generally the default set things will be there. So I'll go with Solon, guys, or I can go with Canadian Solar also. But let me check if I have Canadian Solar. No, I don't have Canadian Solar here. So I'll go with Solon module, make manufacturer. Okay, and these are some random ones. Now, if you want your specific thing, which is not present in this drop down, you have an option to edit the database, and you can go into that edit database and check with that. Okay, so I'm going into Solon. Right, so we are in Solon, and in that I'm using 290 watt peak polycrystalline module. Okay, blue represents polycrystalline. And the next one in this case, these are something related to the design consideration, guys, the complete set of this insertion of modules, where there is an option called stack consideration. That is like you will have the three modules or a set of modules, like in a matrix format, in a rectangular format, will be placed on the panel consideration called a stack consideration. And you also have different considerations. But let us not increase the difficulty in understanding the stack for time being. So I'll take my modules into landscape consideration, and then I'm making it a row alignment. Okay. And I'm considering a verse pitch of it in the respective locality, and click continue. Just a second. I'll make it as 4. It is responding, guys. So once I click on continue to work on with that, now what exactly happens is, guys, can you see my screen? Just a second. It is okay. No, it is not, my system is not responding to this because it's a large area, so it needs maximum number of modules to be inserted. That is not showing. It is working on it. Don't worry. Okay, right. Hope you guys can see the screen. Right, I have so many modules into this, and you can see the modules now. Okay, so this is the solar consideration. Now we'll see like how many modules are there exactly in this. Now before going to this, what I'll do is, because it is taking too much of time, I'll again divide it into half part of it and then show you guys, because unnecessarily I don't want you to get stuck into it. I'm using this area to insert the modules. So I'll just click same thing and then click continue. You can see the modules, I guess, right? Now you don't want such depth. Again, you see there is last row is again there. Ma'am, how to determine the spacing between modules? Okay. Generally, we go with 30. There is a like default guide setup to work on with this spacing between the modules and the pitch configurations also, guys. So module to module spacing, we go with 40 mm spacing, and then the string to string configuration also. We go with the complete consideration here. So what I'll do is I'll just erase the modules. Now, how do I erase modules? Now, generally what happens, this big string configuration is not possible. So maybe there I have some 20 modules a string, or 25, 24 modules a string configuration. What? Okay, sorry. Right, I'm just exploding it to work on with that, and I'll see, like, I'll show you like how many modules are there. So completely I have 5873 modules. 5873 modules in the complete set consideration. And now let's say this is a 290 watt peak, for example. That means 290 multiplied by 5873 is approximately 1.7 megawatt is the capacity of the solar plant that can be installed in that area. Okay, so considering this into the picture consideration, you're working with the complete area. Now, how did I decide based upon it? Now, what you will do is, I'll take an erase model concentration and I'll start erasing a row or two rows of it like this. So you're clearing a space and then you're making it in proper way. So you're actually making it look like exactly how the layout will be looking after you install it, because you need some walking space and lanes into it when you're working with that. So approximately I can go with somewhere around 1.5 megawatt or 1.25 megawatt if you're considering your inverter room also in between somewhere here. Okay, this is how you erase the modules, guys. Hope you are understanding it. Why the last line of model is not filled? No, I erased it just now. That is the reason it is not full. Don't worry. I'll erase that also. Just before that, I have used erase command, so it went off. That's it. So this is how you erase your model considerations, guys. Now I want to put some inverter room exactly in the center of it, and then something like this. You do it. Okay, so this is how we insert the solar modules on certain area using the SketchUp and Skeleton plugin, and then you also work on with the shadow analysis using the sunny area tool in the Skeleton plugin, and SketchUp is used for the 3D modeling of your consideration. So this is how your solar looks on it. Now if you take stack into it, then it looks more proper way also maybe. Okay. Guys, hope you all got a clarity like how exactly it works and all. I have given you a very brief intent about the SketchUp. Exactly, the SketchUp sessions would be like almost for 10 hours, and the practice will also be somewhere around it needs like good amount of practice also for making it proper spaces, exactly the model looking like the real time building that wherever you're exactly working on with that. It is not only used for the rooftop, it's also used for the ground mount considerations also, and it saves most of your time. And it is you can also export the 3D model of the SketchUp using the export command into it, and also the PDF into it, and then you can exactly show the client the KMZ file, that is like Google Earth file. Okay, that consideration into your thing. So that's how you work on with the SketchUp considerations. Ma'am, please send another link. Sorry, Aishwarya, I didn't get your question. Hope I answered all your questions, guys. If I unanswered anyone's question, except for Girish, I guess. Girish, you will get your installation concept in the start of the session in the YouTube. Please once watch it, and then you will get that clarity where you'll exactly get the software and all. So Shrikant sir, is there any certificate for this session? I am not aware of it. Sorry. Ma'am, how many modules are enough for a normal house or a small house? That depends upon your area, Vinith. Now, depending upon your consideration, generally, your locality area and the obstacles present on it, and then the respective shadow consideration you have to eliminate, and then the effective area where exactly you can put the modules, and then you have to design the module consideration, and your investment budget to the respective consideration is also important to decide all these parameters. Now you have to do a complete project detailed designing to understand how many modules to be required and all. Ma'am, please tell again when and where how to install the software. Okay, Ram Babu Garu. So let me go back to it. Guys, I'm just moving back to this. Okay, so many of them joined little late, so I'm just showing them. Just search for the Google SketchUp download on the Google, so you will get this. And then second link, download all the SketchUp. So if you click on this link, you will get into this, guys. So here you have to create your own account. If you don't have any account, create your account, and then based upon your account creation, you can able to download it. Now the latest version of SketchUp is SketchUp 2020. right? And you want to install, like if you have 32-bit and all, then you will get your 32-bit SketchUp also. The older versions of SketchUp will support the 32-bit Windows, and if you have your Mac, then you can download the respective things. Okay, just click on download and work. The SketchUp requirements are little higher. You need a good graphics card, and then you also need some good at least some 4 GB RAM consideration. 2 GB RAM will also work out, but your system will lag little bit. That's it. Okay, software will lag a bit. It gets stuck in between, but you can manage. If you don't have, you don't need to buy a new one and all those things into it. Okay, this is how you get the SketchUp software. The second one is Skeleton plugin. The Skeleton plugin is something. Click Skeleton plugin download, and you will directly go into the website of skeleton.com, where exactly you will get your download of it. So you can download this using this link. Okay. So this is how you get this Google SketchUp and Skeleton. Skeleton will be for 15 days trial, and SketchUp will be for 1 month trial. Even after you create your own triangle ID also, it will give you 1 month and 15 days time for your trial period. So if you're installing, do it only if you want to work on it. Okay, just scroll the chat box to feedback links. Okay, how ma'am? Ma'am, solar is completely dependent on climate condition, but its software will show you that it is exact estimate. Yes, yes. See, it will also consider the location consideration, Vaishnavi, and to understand the exact climatic conditions, the humidity, turbidity, or the wind velocity considerations. All these things are being observed in the PVSys software. SketchUp is only to model and to analyze the shadow consideration into the picture. The other parameters, the weather conditions and the meter-norm data considerations will be considered in another software called PVSys. So you use PVSys for that respective thing to work on with. So that will all together you will get your exact result estimate of your solar layout consideration along with the design criteria. Okay, Vaishnavi, thank you. Do you have any questions? Ma'am, we have considered height of placing module at spacing between the string to string construction means. See, generally what happens is the structure here, time being, I've considered a normal height of it, the normal consideration, because my tilt angle is 20 degrees only. But you're going with an other tilt angle, like higher tilt angles or stack considerations, where you have higher shadow considerations and you have to increase your structure height too much, then you have to mention the height of module also a bit. Or you have to create a component called structure, insert that, and above it you have to put your modules on it. That's how you consider your height of the consideration. I have given the spacing between the string to string is pitch. We call string to string spacing called as pitch, and module to module spacing is 40 mm. Horizontally, vertically, if you're placing it, like you have a panel consideration, in stack consideration, vertical spacing is 30 mm. Any frequent maintenance is required? Yes, frequent maintenance in terms of cleaning of the modules, because dust is again an other thing which will reduce the efficiency of the module consideration. So you need the cleaning of modules is needed, but once in a while is done generally, not exactly. I'm clear that, ma'am, in the edge of the building we can't exist solar models, but in that there exist some models in the edge. You can erase it. See, sometimes what happens, if you can't form a string properly, it gives you only models in that aspect. That's it. You don't need to worry about it. Now you want a proper thing, so you work on it. String is something called a series combination of modules, guys. The series combination of modules are called a string. You have our we also had a virtual solar site visit where exactly we help you to understand the string configurations and all. You can get that video in our YouTube. I mean, like on our channel, on our page. You can actually visit that so that you will get good relativity between the SketchUp string configuration, exact solar plant virtual visit has been done like on August 15th. Okay, not just 10 days back. So you can just review it and see it. So you'll get that clarity also on it. Okay, ma'am, solar is completely, I've answered this. I have some new questions. Okay. Orientation, ma'am, we need to place from south facing. We didn't take it. See, this case, exactly, it automatically considered Mahesh in our consideration, because we have considered location criteria. Software is doing it for us consideration, but You don't need to worry about orientation for time being. It automatically gives you based upon your location concentration. Okay, ma'am, as of the last session of circuit breaker, solar plant elimination design and circuit will be provided. I'm not sure about it. Certificates, any queries, you please contact this number which is given here. They'll help you out in getting your queries answered, Vaseem. Sorry for that. So, right. So these are the feedback links and the queries numbers have been put in the chat box, guys. You can ping anything you want your queries regarding the internship considerations or regarding the our regular batch considerations. You can actually speak to them. They'll help you out in giving you the complete information. So hope I helped you out in this, and thank you so much, guys, for your patience and things. So, I think we are good with the session. So yes. So thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a good day, and bye, sir. Bye, Hitam team, for your presence into it, and thank you so much, guys. Have a good day.